An intro to test runs in ZStream. Here we have a bunch of test suites and test cases in the test cases tab. And here we have a login test case with some different steps about what we want to go through when we actually test this. If we take a look at test plans, we can go ahead and grab some of those cases, and we'll just call this login page tests. And we'll go ahead and grab a few of these test cases. Login and reset password. We'll create the test plan with this. And now we just have these two cases in this test plan. To actually create a test run, I can use this test plan. And I'll create a test run just with a name directly from this test plan. We don't have to create from test plan right here, but if we do, it goes ahead and pulls all of the things that we already have in our test plan. I can add an environment. For example, let's say this is our dev environment. I can create a new value right here. I can also add a label. I'm not going to do that for now. I'll go ahead and create this test run. Now inside our test run, we can see all the cases that we have. And we can also see who they're assigned to and filter by assignees if we need to. We can also filter by have they actually been tested yet? Have they passed, failed, been skipped, or blocked? We can also add a description, but I'll skip that for now. When I actually go to test this, I'm going to hit launch run. And this opens up the side pop-up that actually allows me to start adding results for each of these cases. So I can mark this whole case as failed, skipped, passed, or blocked up here. But more likely I'm going to go through the actual steps and say what happened here. So let's say I went through this, I opened the login page and it loaded with the form. I'll say this step passed. And we'll see this progress marker move from showing all of them as untested to showing one of them as passed. Now we can move on to the next step and say we entered an email address with a space in it, and the warning showed us this validation warning. I'll say that passed. Now let's say we enter a valid email and password, and there actually are some validation warnings, but there shouldn't be. So here I can say this step failed, and what exactly happened here. I can save the result of exactly what happened there, and you can see I'm automatically moved on to the next case. So this was the login case here. We can go back and see the results, see what passed and what failed. And once we do that, we'll move on to the next case in our test run. In this case, it's reset password. And here I could go through and just pass all of these, or maybe I skip a step. But I can also just hit passed for this whole case. If I need to, or I can say it's blocked. For now, I'll say it's passed. And now we can actually go up here and show the metric bar for this test run. And we can see that one failed because it failed on that step, and one passed. Now, if we go back to our test runs list, we'll see exactly what happened here. This was for the dev environment, no label. Here's when it was created. And it was created from this test plan. This is the test plan we created it from. We can also create a test run without a test plan. So if I don't select this, I can just come in and start selecting the cases. Here I'll select some of the same ones, and I'll add the environment again. And I'll fill in a title and I'll create it. Now we can see that this wasn't created from a specific test run, so this says not selected. We just selected the cases we wanted directly when we created the test run. We can also duplicate and launch a test run. So this will just take the exact same cases we have and allow us to start running it again. So if I duplicate and launch this one, we'll get the same thing. It's launched. We have our same two cases here, and we can go ahead and start adding results. Now, if we go back to our permanent test cases here, in this case for the login test cases that we had results for, we can actually see those results reflected on the permanent test case. So here are all of our steps. There's no description at the moment, but we can look at some of the details here. And we can look at the previous results. So here we see this was this test run I just created. We can see it failed on step 3. And that's it for now. There are going to be a lot of improvements, such as showing the actual reason this failed here, the details that we entered in that test run. But for now, this is the basics of how we create a test run from a test plan. We go ahead and start adding results and seeing how your project or product is performing.